Well, right now, you saw my diet on the web, right?
No, I
Did
didn't.
you see the diet, the hamburger and Diet Coke?
Oh, yeah, I saw that, yeah. The 3D diet.
Huh?
The 3D diet?
Oh, that's the diet you eat in 3D. It's a 5D diet. It's part of the 5D diet.
Yeah, with the
But the thing is, well, here's the one other thing I can tell you. The 5 magic words, right?
Yes.
You see the 5 magic words?
Yes, I do.
Okay, those 5 magic words are the words that will connect you to that world that I'm talking about right now.
Okay.
Those 5 magic words will connect you to that world and will move you in that direction. Now, the diet that I have is for the purpose of, if you're looking at it from the 5D world, everything in that world that you're in basically is a light. You see, I see it as a light, right?
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, what light takes you up, what light takes you down. It just so happens at this point, that diet I have on my website is a diet that's used, that has that energy that takes you up in conjunction with the meditation exercise. If you do one without the other, it'll be like taking poison.
Okay.
So you see, the 5 magic words are number 1. Now remember another saying, which was a clue for me, and that's why I got an early start. I think it says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, or the Word was with God, something like that.
Yep.
Have you heard that?
Yep.
Well, guess what those 5 magic words are?
Oh, okay.
They are those words. Do you see what I mean?
Yes.
Now, since I don't have any religion, and I can't prove to you that they are what they are, and also since they're on the website for free, it might be impossible for people to do it because they're so simple.
Exactly.
They are so free. And there is no proof. But you see, the interesting thing is, nobody's ever proved there was God, they say, huh? The scientists?
Right, the scientists say that.
Yeah. Boy, that's really funny.
So
but
now,
anyway, how would they know God when they saw Him? If you don't see, before I can get anybody into the 5D world, I have to clear up all this stuff. You can't imagine what it would be like to be in the 5D world with the power that you must have to be there to begin with, but to have the thinking that you have from the 3D world, which is absolutely illogical. Do you see what I mean? That
yes.
is a disease in the 3D world. It's absolutely illogical and irrational.
Right.
It makes no sense at all. It's totally insane. It's crazy.
So
and I actually believe if you just took everybody, keep them quiet for 10 minutes, and get them to look at how illogical their thinking is, I think it would change the world in 10 minutes.
Okay.
Follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, after all, how many times can you say God created everything? God is everything. God is love. God created you. You are God. We're all one. God is inside. Heaven is inside. Love is you, and still, I couldn't even get people to say, well, okay, if you're children of God, well, could you accept the fact that maybe you are a little bitty God? And I couldn't get people to accept that.
No, I can't accept that because my minister didn't tell me that.
Yeah. Well, how many ministers have you ever heard say anything about that in the sense of God being, it's all that everybody is subservient to somebody that they think is bigger than they are, and they're actually the God that they are waiting for. We are the God we're waiting for. It's really funny. I mean, it's funny if it weren't so critical at this stage. So what I'm saying is before you can get into the world that we're talking about, this heaven, you have to know that heaven is God's home. It's the home of God, so let's put it that way. Now, the other thing that's really interesting when you finally do see the world from the 5D side, and that's the only way you could possibly be in that world, and obviously you'd have to have have the right thinking, because you also hear over and over again, you are what you think, right?
Right.
Well, look how people think. I mean, they're so confused, and there's so much distortion and so much contradiction in what they think. It would be absolutely impossible to move any higher in their vibrations because they just self-destruct.
So to help us overcome that, we would do the 5 words. Is that what you're saying?
That's right.
And what about this stuff about drinking the Coca-Cola, Diet Coke?
Well, that's what I recommend you try.
Mm-hmm.
The Diet Coke, only specifically what I have, nothing else in the universe. And only in the specific size that I have, nothing else in the universe. I have the 20-ounce size and the 1-liter sizes, nothing else. If you get the 16-ounce, you get the 24-ounce, if you get the 10-ounce, if you get anything other than those, they are just poison.
Now, what is
That's how specific everything is. You see, if everybody knew what I knew, it would be a great day for me. But you see, it would be hard enough to get people even do it after knowing what it is, because the mind comes in and says, well, that can't be possible. Well, how could they possibly know? It's the same thing about God. How do they know who God is if they've never seen him and they don't think they can ever see him? And what a dilemma they're in. They don't, if you tell a person they're God, like this couple of people I've experimented with,
mm-hmm.
they will agree that they're children of God, but for somehow or another, they just can't believe that since they're children of God, they must be God children. And God children, they grow up to be adult gods, right?
Absolutely.
Well, we are adult gods now, but we're still acting like children. Well, not really like children, I mean with the simple minds, but adults actually are the opposite. You see, we are gods, and we are responsible for the creation we're in. We keep hearing that all the time, but we don't really believe it.
Mm.
So you see, that's why the problem is where it is in the world. Now, what I did, when I saw all this confusion, and I noticed that everything you do, everybody will take it and split it into thousands of pieces and make it so complicated that it will have no effect whatsoever because it's all so dividing and separating, and the outcome would be. So when I saw that the first thing I need to do is to pick something that people couldn't tear apart and make it into something that it's not, even though they've tried very hard, is I decided to pick a word because, you know, we all have to be called something, right?
Right.
So I picked the word breatharian because it was very simple. Breath means breathing, and Aryan is a person who breathes.
Right.
Right?
Right.
You see, that's the one thing in the universe that everybody agrees on.
Oh, I see. I got you. Right.
You follow me?
Yes.
It was better than the word God. That's why I never talk about God, because everybody's got a different God.
Right, exactly.
And they're fighting each other because of their God.
Yes, that's true.
But everybody does agree. It has nothing to do with whether you eat or not. That was not my point. It never has been, but that's what they grab because the mind has to make everything complicated. So as over the years, they've tried to ignore the fact that I had something that everybody agreed on and that pulled everybody to one point of reference, which is breath. And breath happens to be the same frequency. If you look at the word breatharian, you'll find it to be the same frequency as the vibration of Christ.
Whoa.
Yes.
That's
and
heavy.
The word God was not.
Yeah, that's heavy.
So you see, when you look at my website and you see the word breatharian, one thing is for sure, you're perfectly in harmony with everybody else in the universe because everybody is a breatharian. It's just they don't know it, but they are. It's the vibration. Do you see what I mean?
Yes. So now...
So that was the important thing about what I did. When I came up with that word breatharian, I knew everybody eventually would come to their attention, and I'm hoping that it's coming to their attention before they actually have to prove that they can live without eating, because they will have to, sometime in the near future, really come to a point about that to be able to see that it is the breath that is the thing that sustains life, and food actually is just a temporary thing that we use to keep the body operating until we get back to our